Hello, everyone. Ben and Reed here. This week, we'd like to present to you a little bit about PL/SQL case statements. A case statement is a multi-branching conditional statement, meaning that within one structure, many conditions can be checked, and then corresponding statements can be executed when those conditions are true. Just like other conditional statements, with a case statement, you need to have some understanding of comparison operators, usually. Um, Comparison operators are what most of the time will be used within a conditional statement, although not always. Some simple examples of comparison operators are greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to, and equals. And keep in mind that this is not all of the conditional operator or comparison operators that PL/SQL supports. There are many others that you can use. If we were to chart out what a case statement would look like, the basic flow of a simple statement would look something like this. You have several reserved words here, case, when, and then, and else. You can specify a variable here, and then you would have simple conditions in this example specified here. When those conditions are met, or when one of these conditions is met, because it'll only satisfy one condition, or the first condition that is satisfied will execute the statements, then these statements would be run. So if condition number one was satisfied, then these statements would be run. If condition number two was the one that was satisfied, these statements would be run. You can specify an else statement as well, and then the statements here would be run. Ben will give us a better example of those in a second. So I mentioned earlier, but in a case statement, the first satisfied condition will have its corresponding code executed. And one great use of a case statement is to take the place of nesting multiple if, else, end statements. So instead of, here we have 3 nested if statements. Instead of using this, you might be able to accomplish the same thing by using a single case statement. I think that case statements make for a little bit more elegant code rather than nesting a bunch of different if statements together. Ben is going to go on and show us a couple of live demos of some case statements. Go ahead, Ben. Thanks.
Thank you, Reed. I'll go ahead and show some examples of the case statement. First thing I have on the screen is some code for an if command. So it runs down through this code. If grade is A, then we have an output of excellent, and on down the line. Very good, good. And it's quite a few lines. You can use a case statement to do the same thing, and this is a simple case, but a lot less lines of code, a little simpler to do. So basically you have what's called a selector, and the selector is input from your variable, runs through the code, and whatever your whatever grade equals in that output or input, the output will give you a value. And then you have the catch at the bottom in case it doesn't match anything, you'll have no such grade. And this is a simple case statement. This is what's called a search case statement. So it does not have a selector, and the value is ran through, and you're looking for a true false on each one. So if grade equals A, or when grade equals A, your output will be excellent, and on down the line. And I've left out my catch statement on this because I want to show the importance of having it, because there's 3 different ways you can cover the exception. So if it doesn't match anything, you can have code that covers every possible thing that you could type in, which is pretty hard to do if you think about it. The second one is to always have an else statement like we do here, but it's commented out. And then the third way is to surround the case structure with a block of exception code. So when we get to the bottom, if we don't have a true value through this whole line, we can use this exception to basically output the same thing. So we'll go ahead and run that one just to show you what it looks like to have that error. And we'll put a number in, and now we have this error because that value was not met. So going back to it, we'll go ahead and take that commented line out. We'll go ahead and use it this time. And we'll use that. And now this is showing that we're using the else statement and we're outputting no such grade for that exception for using that 5. And of course you can use it for correct inputs too. So you put an A, Ben, excellent. And you can add any kind of verbiage you want into there for your output. I just wanted to keep it simple. And the exception, if I uncommented it, would basically show you the same output. And just really quick, we'll go ahead and show what the simple case looks like when you run it. And we'll put a C in for that. And the return on that is good. So really, there's a little bit of functional difference between the two. A simple case performs a simple equality check for the selector against each of the when options, and the search case evaluates the conditions independently under each of the when options. So with the search case, you can make far more complex conditions that can be implemented with search case than a simple case. All right, so that's all we have. Thank you for watching.